Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today with a Kitchen Empties. And I'm doing this with my good friend Ellis for Living. We love to do these together. Between this and food vlogs and grocery hauls, you get a real good idea of my current way of eating. So I will tell y'all, the way I'm eating right now is making me feel so good. And I do have a grocery haul that just came out and a couple of food vlogs. I'm going to link those down below, and I'm going to jump right into this, and we will go through my kitchen trash. Okay, the first thing is Land O'Lakes half and half, any kind of half and half. I have stopped drinking Coffee Mate in my coffee because when my functional doctor told me that I tested really high for chemicals and said, please get off Coffee Mate. And then secondly, I saw a video where a girl was talking about things that are illegal in other places, but they're sold in the United States, and Coffee Mate was one of those. So I finally really made the permanent move to half and half. And I don't love it. Well, honestly, I don't love it in my coffee. I put a teaspoon of sugar to make it where I like it better. And I'm getting used to it. It's okay. You know, I miss my Coffee Mate, but that is healthier. So I'm going to stick with the half and half. I went through a Duke's mayonnaise, and I put this in chicken salad is mostly what I use this for. Coleslaw, but mostly chicken salad. I put this in my chicken salad, and I also put it on the toast, and then put the chicken salad on top of it. It's delicious. Okay, I have some Flavor Bomb sweet tomatoes. If you can find those, they're delicious. They're kind of tart and sweet at the same time and firm. They're really good. And they're really good for gut acid, good for vitamin C. These help take my allergies away. So anytime my allergies act up, I take a vitamin C tablet and I grab a handful of cherry tomatoes. Okay, next I went through a pancake and maple syrup. This is the Great Value. I bet this is about 10 years old. And it finally got used up because of Melissa 55's Brussels sprouts that I've talked about in about 5 videos now. I'm obsessed with them. It is bacon, pecans, maple syrup, and Brussels sprouts. I will put Melissa's video down below, and I will also put the recipe for this. I have Brussels sprouts in my refrigerator at all times now. Okay, next, I went through an Udi's multigrain bread every morning. I have a piece of Udi's whole grain toast because I have to have some carbs in my diet or I feel dangerously bad. My brain feels foggy. I don't have any energy. So I always have a piece of Udi's gluten-free toast. So I'm always sure I get a little bit of carb in my diet during the day. I went through a lemons, and I use this in my electrolyte drink. And I love it. I have it every single morning. I have one going right now. It is lemons. I'll put the recipe down below. Lemon, apple cider vinegar, and electrolytes that I got from Ellis for Living. It's a drink, and it's delicious. Very pungent and strong, but I love it. So that's what I use those lemons for. That, and also I put a little lemon in my chicken salad sometimes, and always in my coleslaw. Then I went through green beans. These are fresh cut green beans. I was at my niece's one time, and she just put butter in a pan, cooked these just a little bit. They were still very firm. And then put salt. So it's like butter, salt, and green beans. And they're a little bit crispy. So good. Flavored like popcorn, but it's a green bean. Delicious. I like to have those going. That's a very good veggie. Okay, then I went through a chocolate caramel mousse Atkins. Y'all, I am trying harder than ever to stay off of these. I do not eat these very often because I'm trying to stay off the chemicals. I'm eating tons of organic veggies. I'm eating tons of meat. So I'm not going to be eating a lot of Atkins and processed food. No, not a lot. Most of my diet now is vegetables and meat. And a piece of bread in the morning. And pretty much that's my diet, if I was going to put it in a nutshell. So the Atkins bars are by the wayside for the most part, unless my blood sugar feels dangerously low and I can't get to anything else. Okay, apple cider vinegar. This is what I make. I use this in my electrolyte drink. I put this, the juice of half a lemon, the electrolyte drink, and water. And I froth it up in my little blender. Apple cider vinegar is just supposed to be good for a lot of stuff and, gut health. So I love the taste of it. I used to just drink that in water. Okay, next, I went through a ton of mushrooms, whole white organic mushrooms. These are just supposed to be so good for you, y'all. Like very healing. My trash is falling. Very healing. So I'll put some good mushroom things that I do with my mushrooms down below. Mostly, I'll put butter in a pan, spinach, mushrooms, tomatoes, anything I want to throw in there. Mushrooms is usually one of those things. I eat a ton of mushrooms. It's good with eggs. They're good sauteed just with steak. I have those all the time. One of my favorite things is cauliflower casserole. I'll put the recipe down there. And then put meat of some kind, ground turkey, ground hamburger, and then sauteed mushrooms, tomatoes, and spinach, and put that on top of it. It's a 5-minute meal and so healthy. Okay, I went through cauliflower. I was just talking about this. Cauliflower casserole. That's what I use this for. And I'll put the recipe down below. It's delicious. Delicious. It makes every meal a treat. It's almost like having something like a potato casserole, like loaded potatoes or something. It's delicious. And I keep one of those made in my fridge all the time. Okay, baby carrots. I eat these candied. I put them in a pan with water, get them soft, then put a little bit of sugar, salt, and butter with those. And I keep those in my fridge all the time. I like to eat those, alone or mixed with something I don't like that much, like green beans. I also love that mixed with Melissa's Brussels sprouts. The maple Brussels sprouts are delicious with candied carrots. It's not too sweet, but it's almost like a dessert, but not quite that sweet. Okay, I have a book. I do not know how this book got in there. Okay, y'all, I have one of those electrolyte powders that's empty, and I'm halfway through with another one. Thank you so much to Ellis for Living for introducing me to this. It got rid of my muscle twitching that I had for about 5 years. I thought I had something dreadfully wrong with me. Yeah, I was low on electrolytes. If you are low carb, y'all, like I have been for 20-something years, do not forget your electrolytes. Do yourself a favor. If you're not getting them in your diet, get some electrolytes, a pill, a drink, whatever. Monterey Jack, this is in my cauliflower casserole. This and Colby Jack. I went through another apple cider vinegar. This one has a prebiotic and it's apple cinnamon. Wasn't a fan of this. It had a little bit of a wang, but you might be, it might add, if you don't like apple cider vinegar, it might make you able to drink it. I liked it okay, but I didn't love it. And I went back to the original. Okay, let me get another bag. Okay, I went through some wisps, and I get these in either Asiago pepper jack, Parmesan, cheddar, and I make my cheesy chicken with this. And it's delicious. I will put it down below. It's 0 carb because these are little like cheese crisps is what they are. And they're 0 carb. And the chicken is 0 carb. And I use that for the breading. So I've had that in many, many videos. Okay, unsweet coconut milk. I use this all the time. Whenever I'm hungry, it's a great filler. It's good calcium. It's 40 calories for a glass. It's just good to have around. This morning, I was about to work out and I was starving. I was so hungry. I had a glass of this and a little tablespoon of chia seeds. And it held me over so well for a good sweaty workout. Okay, then I went through a bag of pecans, non-GMO. Got these at the health food store. And I use these in Melissa's Brussels sprouts. And they're delicious. They are a little treat. And then I've got the Brussels sprouts that, I have been talking about. Okay, then I got Hidden Valley. I went through a Hidden Valley ranch. I used this in white chicken chili. Y'all, I just got a recipe from my niece that is so delicious and so easy. I use this in that. I'll put that recipe down there. I use this in my cauliflower casserole, I believe. I can't remember what all I use this for. Taco soup, a ton of stuff. Another cheese wisp. Okay, corn. I used this for squash and corn just in a pan, and then I put a soft cheese in there, maybe mozzarella, and it was very tasty, and some butter. It was really good. Okay, I went through a Bush's baked beans because beans are such a good carb. They are loaded with good stuff. Now, these are high sugar, so I only use about 1/4 of a cup of these. But if I'm eating tons of veggies and meat, this makes it delicious. So, you know, don't forget your beans. Beans are a great carb. And, you know, I'm careful with them because they're also high carb, but good vitamins in beans. I went through a Parmesan, and I use a lot of Parmesan on veggies. Mushrooms or squash in the air fryer or the oven. I spray those with Pam, and you could use oil or whatever, you know, just something so it sticks. And then I'll sprinkle Parmesan and salt and toast those in the air fryer and dip them in ranch or ketchup. Delicious. It makes it kind of fried. Another tomatoes. More tomatoes. I love my tomatoes. I went through a Folgers Black Silk. I have 1/2 cup in the morning and 1 cup of caffeinated in the afternoon for a pick-me-up. And I love the Folgers. Eggs, I like to keep boiled eggs that I've done in the air fryer. And I make about 6 of them, and I keep them in the fridge, or a dozen. It's a good, quick protein snack. It's a good breakfast. Add a piece of toast and some cheese, or just a piece of toast. And it's super fast and great for you. So I always keep a lot of eggs. Okay, then I went through a bacon. This is for the Brussels sprouts. Okay, then my last coffee mate that I hope y'all will ever see here. I went through a Coffee Mate. I'm not using it anymore. It's very high chemical. I've been told that by many of y'all over and over. And I'm really finally going to get off of it. Okay, I went through a big bag of Splenda. Again, trying not to eat a lot of chemicals. So I'm using, when I'm wanting something sweet, like for my carrots or whatever, I'm mostly using sugar now. And just being really careful with how much sugar. Because I'd rather have a little bit of sugar than the chemical. I'm telling y'all, I measured high for chemicals. Another mayonnaise. Okay, I went through a spray butter, and I love this. I try, again, not to use a whole lot of it because it's processed. In my carrots, sometimes I use all butter, but I'll add a little bit of this, or kind of quite a bit of it, like maybe that much, to add some buttery liquid to the carrots without adding too much butter. So, you know, I use that sparingly, but I do love it. I went through a little lemon juice for when I'm too lazy to squeeze a lemon. Campari tomatoes. I love a Campari tomato. I'm glad I saw that because I'd kind of forgotten about those, but they're kind of a mid-size tomato. I really like a Campari. Okay, then I went through a Wickles. These remind me of my grandmother's homemade pickles, which doesn't help you at all. But I can kind of taste the cucumber, but I can also, it's got a heat to it and a whang to it. They're kind of like a spicy bread and butter. They're sweet, but hot and spicy at the same time. They're delicious. Okay, then I went through an Italian green beans. You know, when I'm in too much of a hurry to do the fresh green beans, I'm really trying to do a lot of fresh and organic, but I will do a can. You know, it's going to help me eat. If it's going to help me eat veggies for that day, I will still do a can. Okay, next I went through some sun-dried tomato and basil almond flour crackers. These are not my favorite, but sometimes I'm in the mood for them. They're a little bit thicker than a regular cracker and firmer and real salty. If you like a lot of salt, you might love these. But I don't think I'm going to replace those. Okay, then I went through some amazing prunes by Sunsweet. These are delicious. They have a little bit of a lemony taste to them, kind of citrusy prune. They're delicious. And sometimes, but rarely, I will grab a little handful of these and a handful of almonds before I go get on the bike. But not real often because these are real calorie dense. And I've really, I'm at the end of really trying to get a bunch of bloat off. But I do love these and I like to keep them. And just grab a little bit with some almonds and that makes a real nice little snack. But just be aware it's very calorie dense. Okay, I went through a Smooth Moves tea right behind the prunes. And this is great. If you need to get yourself going, Smooth Moves will do that. I don't think you're supposed to do this a lot. But, I like to keep that around for when I'm kind of backed up. It's really, really good. And I'll put ginger in that, and it makes it real spicy. It's good. More Atkins. You won't be seeing many of those in my next Kitchen Empties. Okay, I went through some potatoes, and I love to keep sweet potatoes, and I will occasionally cut them up like into cubes with some other veggies and do like a veggie bake. I'm real careful with my potatoes, but they're great vitamins. Real carb dense, but sometimes I don't mind that. Okay, then I went through a Texas pecan. These are by H-E-B, but you can get them on Amazon. And these flavors are so good. The pecan, the Houston, and the San Antonio are great. I will link those from Amazon. Just a very light flavored coffee. It just kind of makes your coffee a little treat. Yep, and then I have the Houston blend. Both of those are real good. Okay, then I went through a chicken breast because I didn't have any chicken and I was going to make chicken salad. These are great to keep around. If you're just in a lurch, you don't have your meat made, I've started kind of keeping these canned chickens around. I mostly just keep chicken salad made, but that's good in an emergency. Okay, and all those things left in that bag are repeats. So I think that is all of my Kitchen Empties. Y'all be sure and go over and visit Elle, see what she's been eating in her kitchen. I'm going to do the same. And that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.